book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 7, and it reads, At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah, Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and to the Akim and the Akwath listening and learning. To you, I say Shalom. This Bam Malak coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is inspired by an article I was reading out of Yahoo News. And it was written on November the 8th, 2020 at 8 a.m. And it reads, this UC firearms researcher, Universal Cal firearm researchers say America is on a collision course with disaster. We need to listen. And you Negro, Latino, Native Americans need to listen. Because Jeremiah, the prophets on the earth are back prophesying downfall and destruction of this wicked kingdom. And they're telling y'all that Jacob's trouble is at hand. And again, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7, At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And who is he? The hopeful elect of you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the 1/3. Let's go back to the article. My hand might be moving because I'm holding this camera. So that is the modern day weapon, AR-15, and the other assault weapons. They got magazines, they got gun handles. That is the modern day weapon. And who was blessed with the modern day weapon? I'm glad you asked. Let's go to the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter. We're going to start at verse 38. And who is Esau? Esau would be the so-called white man walking the earth today. That's his biblical nationality. Book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Esau wept, because it was always for Jacob to get the blessing. But the Most High did bless, Isaac did bless Jacob. Mr. Esau, Salakia. Verse 39, and Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And they got the fatness of the earth. They have all the, in a country that's where all the beautiful, they have all the natural resources that they've taken from all the countries. They got the fatness of the earth. And mainly through the major banking families, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, because all your senators and your congressmen, they've been bought and paid for a long time ago. But Isaac blessed them with the fatness of the earth. In verse 40, which is the key and the point, and by the sword, let's go look at this modern day sword again, because you got to drill it into your head. The modern day sword. America produces more guns than any country on the planet. Let's go back to Genesis 27. And by thy sword shall thou live. How do Esau go about conquering all the countries? With his military industrial complex, and mainly, and how do they punish you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans? With that sword. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And after slavery, Esau was supposed to, because he is our brother. He is our brother. But Most High put that mark of Cain on it. He took away his hue. But Esau is our brother, but he broke that brotherly covenant. So you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans who all want to save this devil, y'all can't, it's nothing you can do about it. Verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Why? Because he gave us the kingdom. Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, hopeful elect, and hopeful 1/3, we were blessed with the kingdom. He gave them the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth, but we were ultimately blessed with the kingdom to come. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then would I slay my brother Jacob, because they've been trying to get that birthright back from the very beginning. Let's go back to the article. And again, that's that modern day sword. We're gonna read a little article. We're gonna jump down. It say upward trends in firearm purchases, violence, and political extremism are converging to put the U.S. at risk for disaster in the months ahead. Gary and Winchmute warned in introducing a report, we have no time to waste if we'll prevent the loss of thousands of lives and emerge with our democracy intact. Well, there's nothing you can do about that, buddy. Let's go to we'll go to Matthew. We'll get back to that. We'll go to Matthew chapter 12 and 25. Let's go to Matthew. Let me get this in. KJV standard. Slovakia. The book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And again, he said, upward trends in firearm purchases, violence, political extremism are converging to put the U.S. at risk for disaster in the months ahead. That's a kingdom divided against itself. Gary and Winchmute warned and introduced a report, we have no time to waste if we'll prevent thousands of lives and emerge with their democracy. We're going to read that again. We're going to skip down. And it reads, it said the risk of political violence is higher now than at any other time in my lifetime. Bob Scrum, a former Democratic consultant who's directed the Center for the Political Future of USC. It said, we see members of Congress talking about using violence or excusing the January 6th insurrection. The attack on the nation capital was unprecedented in our modern history. People rationalizing violence. Esau always rationalized violence. Part of our new normal is the demonization of other sides. If we continue to be so divided like this, we won't be able to move ahead as a nation. We certainly won't succeed as a democracy. Democracy depends on trust, and we have very little of that now. Again, that's Matthew 12 and 25, another one. The same thought, just a different perspective. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. America is not going to stand. Jump down. It says, school board meetings everywhere have become uncivilized. Battlegrounds over curriculum involving race and 19 masks and vaccination mandates. County health officers are under threat. Let's go to second address. Are under threat. We'll go to KGV. Let's go to second address, the 15th chapter. Start at verse 14. It reads, woe to the world and them that dwell in, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Let's go get this picture of the sword again, because we got to beat that into you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans' head, what the sword, the modern day sword, looked like. That's that modern day sword. Once again, that's the modern day sword. You're not going to have two men having a duel with some metal. They got metal, all right. Some of this plastic metal that's going to be popping up out them bullets coming out them guns. Again, we're back at the school board meetings, right? Let's go back to 2nd Ezra 15. Verse 15, it said, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, night is near, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand, with guns in their hands. That's what they need. That's what you need to understand, with guns in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And their kings and princes are your political leaders, your local and your government, your elected leaders, officials that you voted up into Washington, D.C. So the people are going to be mad at those. Why? Because they fell on them. They sold out to the big big bankers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers. They sold you out. And y'all still running to these polls to vote when you've been sold out. Let's continue reading. We've seen attempts to create a new type of politics in which the threat of violence forces to drive political action, and that some things we've not seen in this country for a long time, Wintermute said. You know why? Because you have right now the vaccinated. They really want you unvaccinated people to be put to death because y'all are putting their lives at risk. See, they don't trust in the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. They trust in the signs, especially amongst you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. They all of a sudden this vax started in China and it ended up being you're gonna be the carriers and y'all gonna be the ones that are affected most by this this concoction, this virus. We're gonna jump on down. Let's go. And it reads, people purchase firearm more for protection than for all other reasons combined, he wrote. Firearm purchases increased early in the year to well beyond expected levels and continue throughout the summer because they know Esau Edom, so-called white man, they spirit sense violence. So when they sense violence, what do the first thing they do? They run to the local gunsmith to go buy their firearms. Well, you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all run to the Most High. Even though y'all run to good old Jesus the Christ, y'all run to the wrong power. Y'all should be running to and get the covering of the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because y'all don't even trust Jesus the Christ because y'all still running to take that jab. Y'all taking that concoction to save y'all. Y'all don't trust in the Lord. I'm gonna jump on down, continue to read. You have to read this along, read. Let's go. Oh, that's not what I want. And read right now. Many Americans have entered a world of paranoid delusion. Why? Because people are not critical thinkers. They listen to their Wikimedia machine. ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN tell them that they're sick. Tell them that the unvaccinated are killing them. Telling them that the unvaccinated people are killing them. Matter of fact, let me go to, I'm gonna show you. Now this is what you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans need to understand.
Death rates are too high. Here's what we know. We know that the people who are dying from this disease are 11-fold more likely to pass if they are
and that's why that we should make their own tongues to fall upon them. Let's get that. Let's get that. book of Psalms, chapter 64 and verse 8, and it reads, "So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. All that see them shall flee away." Let's go back to that YouTube and let's get that video once again. I don't know what's that all about, so we're gonna go down to my subscription again. We're gonna go to watch later. Let's listen to that one again.
Our death rates are too high. Here's what we know. We know that the people who are dying from this disease are 11-fold more likely to pass if they are
Okay, again, let's get it. Psalm 64 and 8. "So that they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." And that's a continuation from that gun order. That's why you have no critical thinkers here in Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt. There's no critical thinkers. They telling you right in front of them. They speak these words. They telling you that this concoction is pretty much, it spells DEATH. But yet you have 2/3 of our people that are running to get the jump shot. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So what you should be doing, because we are really spiritual people. You Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans are really spiritual people. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 12. It says, "For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intent of the heart." We should be repenting and calling upon the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We're not a carnal people. We don't have to go by the sword. You don't need a weapon. I'm not saying if you have one that you're wicked. I'm not saying if you have one, you might have to use it. We don't know how Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai gonna use us in these last days. But what we're saying, you don't need to run out. What you need to do is try to get the covering of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So in closing, I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikah Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and to the Akim and the Akwaf listening and learning. To you, I say Shalom.